The greatest DC event has begun. DCKO, witnessing the DC heroes get ruthless and fight each other to the death. But the thing is, the villains showed up. They were not invited. How? Why? Who? I will be answering those questions in this video, so get comfortable and let me break it down for you. This is Superman, and welcome to my channel. Please subscribe. Let us begin. Because before the great big tournament started, Clark Kent, Kal-El, Superman, needed answers. Thankfully, he had the Fortress of Solitude, which in turn meant he had access to Kryptonian knowledge. All of it, every single thing known by his people. So he decided to pose a question. What the hell is this about? What the hell is Doomsday? What the hell is the King Omega and Alpha? No response was given, of course, because all this was rendered illegal knowledge. All the knowledge that wasn't born from the planet was considered falsehoods. Everything outside Krypton was illegal. Disappointed, but knowing full well he still had a job to do, he went to take care of Earth, meaning he had to set aside his differences and work with mercy to produce an arc that was able to save most of Earthlings. Now, as we saw in issue 1, he decided to lock in with his family, say his goodbyes, and it was a good goodbye. But still, it had to be said, right? Because he might die in this tournament. Now, he had the resolve to fight. Now, he had a job to do. But you see, his girl, his wife, Lois Lane, had a job to do herself. She went back to the Fortress of Solitude and asked the same database the same questions. She asked over and over and over again, but the machine kept saying no, no access, illegal knowledge. She almost gave up until she heard a voice of her mother-in-law. Yo, Lois Lane, you love my son. She said yes, and so she just told her everything. So meaning they had the information all this time, they just couldn't tell Superman. That's messed up. She exposed how Darkseid is supposed to be the final god, so they created a champion to fight Darkseid, and Alpha. That is who Doomsday is. Doomsday is not a weapon to kill Superman, nah, Doomsday is the Alpha. He's a weapon made to kill Darkseid. Lois Lane realized that this is critical knowledge. She had to tell her mans, but before she could, boom, the fortress is under attack. Someone came crashing in. Seeing the streak of red, she assumed it was her husband. Well, she was right. It was her husband, but from another dimension. He was the wrong Clark Kent. He was Superboy Prime, and he was the coolest character in this whole arc. I'm not even going to lie, he needs his own freaking comic book run, for real, for real. It's too freaking funny. Regardless though, he came crashing in for a reason. He was under attack by, the Legion of Darkseid. The Legion of superheroes turned evil, led, at this point, by the Sun Boy. Now, I think this is absolutely stupid on multiple levels because he basically gives up Yellow Sun energy. He's making Superboy more powerful, right? Why the hell is he beating him to the ground? He paused before he could continue the beating because he saw Superboy Prime smiling. Why was he smiling? You idiot. You just gave her a full dose of red sun radiation. Yeah, Superwoman is back. Welcome, Lois Lane. For those of you who don't know, Lois Lane used to be Superwoman. She lost her abilities because it wasn't hers to begin with. They were stolen from Zod. She had fun with it though, until she lost it. Then she felt incomplete. Now she was whole. Now she was powerful. She ain't no bitch. And Superboy loved this. He loved seeing Lois Lane kick some ass. Dead ass. Because low-key, I think he has a crush on her still. He came in close to congratulate her on the ass whooping, but she said, nah, we need to get this data to Superman. He needs to know this information before his tournament. Superboy said, whoa. Tournament? There's a tournament and I wasn't invited? Shit. Now, as awesome as that sounds, the tournament was not going good. If you're coming from the first video I made, you know what went down. Lex Luthor and his animals, well, they caused chaos. They literally crippled the whole superheroes' plan, and they did this for a reason. Like I said, they weren't supposed to be there. They weren't even supposed to know. But the problem was the Justice League discussed their plan in the presence of a former Legion of Doom member, especially one with psychotic and psychic abilities. He could send messages through the planet. Why the hell did you think it was safe to discuss your plans in front of Grodd? Luthor, are you listening to this shit? I'm listening, Grodd, and I have plans. His plans were simple. He picked the best candidates, some of them that he could easily control, bringing them to the Legion of Doom's former headquarters. Now, all of them were curious as to why they were there until they saw who brought them. It was Lex, and he wanted them to fight with him. Now, a bunch of them were animals already. They didn't want nothing to do with Lex until they heard a laugh. It was the Joker. How the hell was he here? I'm pretty sure Lex didn't invite this prick, but he was here regardless. Are we stabbing each other now or till the end of the tournament? Joker, I do not have time for this. We need to lock in. The heroes are on the move. Starro said, yeah, they're on the move all right. They run the whole shit. So how are we going to get in? Lex just smiled. I have my ways. And he really did. Now a bunch of you may be asking, I thought Lex Luthor was good. He wasn't. He wasn't. That was a dream. I felt he was turning good as well, but I was wrong. He's done that multiple times apparently. He built the suit for his squad, allowing them all not just to travel but to gain access to the tournament itself. It hurt. It really, really hurt. But they got in. And as we saw the result, they are very, very effective. Joker killed a bunch of people, including his allies. A bunch of Lex's people were weak, of course. But Lex himself, he showed out. He faced Superman, and he took his hand. Now Superman has become something new just to fight Lex. His next fight being against Captain Atom, and Lex fight being against Etrigan, a demon and a super soldier. It's about to be crazy. And Superboy, well, he just learned about the tournament and he was still pissed off, but he understood. Wait, where are we? He looked around and realized that they were in the Fortress of Solitude. Hold on, I need to get something. He zoomed off and she was like, you, database, you're coming with me. Sadly, the Legion of Darkseid were still here, and now he had backup. You need to join us now, Superwoman, or you die. Choose. I think no. I mean, come on, she's Superwoman. She's almost more ethical than her man himself. Idiotic answer. Kill her now and eradicate that database. It knows too much. They move quick, but she was quicker, apparently, screaming for Superboy, I need help. I need help right now. Prime! They laughed. He made the right choice. We would kill him regardless, but still. He lives longer by running. Who the hell is running, you nerd? Say hello to Superman. That's right, he came back with Superman. And Superman put the beats on these pricks. Everyone was beating everyone, especially the super family. Because now it was Superman, Superboy Prime, and Superwoman. The ass whooping was insane. In the midst of the combat though, Superman got cracked. Regardless though, his wife picked up the slack and she did it well. Now, all that was left was the database. Hey, Superman, come here. That was the first red flag. He didn't see his wife. He went straight to Superboy Prime. And Lois found this odd. Oi, Clark, look at me. She grabbed him and when she saw his face, she lost her mind. Superman? Hello, honey. She struck him quick. Superboy had to protect his face. Hold on. He's not Cyborg Superman. Nah, none of them are. None of them? She looked behind him and she saw a whole legion of Superman robots. God damn. This is the Fortress of Solitude. This was Superman's backup plan. I just made it active. And honestly, we're going to need them. Trust me. Because the person we're going to see next beat the brakes off your husband, beat the brakes off me, and could beat the brakes off you. We're going to see Time Trapper, the future Doomsday. And as we know, the current Alpha. The problem was, the Alpha was in trouble. He was in the presence of Darkseid himself, possessing the body of Booster Gold. Jesus Christ, I love this event. I'm so hyped I can't breathe. This is DC. Please subscribe, join the family, and give me a tip so I can buy more comic books. Come on.